Alright, welcome to the Ascending Tide patch. This is going to be a very weird patch because abilities now scale off of your highest stat. For example, meaning Magicka abilities will scale off of weapon damage, and if your highest stat is weapon damage, that's what it's going to scale off of. So because of this, I'm going to be stacking weapon damage on my Magicka Dragonknight due to the Mountain's Blessing passive, which grants minor brutality, a specific 10% increase to weapon damage. You activate this passive by using an Earthen Heart ability, for example, Molten Armaments. Now, since Dragonknight has access to minor brutality, it would be smart to stack weapon damage whether you focus Magicka or stamina. Now, I do want to take a second and appreciate you guys for taking the time to check out my channel. I hope you enjoy the gameplay and have as much success with the build as I have. Feel free to ask any questions if I leave out information in the comments below. Okay, so let's show you guys the character stat sheet. Got everything buffed up. Except for my front set, I'm using Briarheart, so we won't have that procced, but without that, we have 6.5k weapon damage, 26k physical resistances, 29k spell resistances, and 3600 crit resist. I put 40 into Magicka, and I put 24 into health. Because I'm Breton, and we're not Imperial, and we don't get that extra 2k health, so I want to get my health up to at least 29k. And so I go 40 Magicka, 24 health. We are stage 3 vampire. We are using Clockwork Citrus Fillet. And yes, my Mundus Stone is Warrior. And we'll get into that more. We've talked about that, but we'll get into that more when we show the sets. Okay, so let's break down exactly the traits of the sets. First off, let's start off with the back bar. Back bar Rallying Cry. I go Infused, Reduced Cost, Infused Weapon Damage, and this other piece, you probably guessed it, Markyn. I go Swift, Reduced Cost. So continuing with Rallying Cry, I go only one piece on the body. And we go Divine's Triglyph. Divine's Triglyph is going to be pretty much every piece except for our chest piece. Okay, so back bar Resto, I go Defending. And we've got a weapon damage enchant on the Resto. Okay, so the next set is Briarheart. We go Dual Wield Briarheart. I've got Nirnhone Disease damage for the Minor Defile. I've got a charged Triglyph enchant on the offhand. Triglyph is a little bit new. It does a little bit of magic damage, restores health, mag, and stam. Perfect for a DK. Okay, so moving on, we've got 3 pieces of Briarheart on the body. I know this sounds weird, but with this new patch being hybridized, medium just makes so much more sense, especially since we're trying to stack weapon damage here. So I go all Divines and all Triglyph. The only piece that's not going to be Divines is going to be my heavy chest piece of Trainee. You want to play on to the amount of armor that a heavy chest piece gives. It gives the most amount of armor in the game. So if you go Reinforced, that's going to help you be even more tanky. Okay, so this build is actually 4 medium, 2 heavy, and 1 light. Okay, to finish it off, we've got 2-piece Magma, 1 heavy and 1 medium, Triglyph, both Divines. It doesn't matter which piece is heavy. If you want to make your helmet heavy and your shoulders medium, the heavy piece for both of these weapon slots, or I'm sorry, armor slots, will grant the same amount of armor. So don't worry about which one's heavy and which one's medium, just as long as you get one of each. Okay, and again, we're going all Divines to play on to the Warrior Mundus Stone. And we're just getting a lot of weapon damage here. Okay, let's rebuff up. We'll show you what some of these abilities are hitting for. Let's get that Rallying proc. There we go. Okay, so our Engulfing Flame is hitting for 8.5k initial damage and a 15k dot. Embers is at a 19k dot, and Flames of Oblivion is at 9.1k. All right. So all this weapon damage is stacking, and it is increasing our healing as well. You guys saw how much crit resist I was using, and you guys saw the physical and spell resist. That coupled with the amount of healing that's going on with this patch is making my Dragonknight very, very tanky and hit very, very hard. Okay, so the tooltip on rapid regen is 26k, almost 26.5. Coagulating blood is 12.4k. I believe if I rebuff up, it'll probably be back up to almost 13k. We've got volatile armor. We've got elusive mist. Elusive mist, I prefer that if I'm by myself. If I've got another player in my group that can also heal me and we're stacking heals, I'll probably go Psijic Order. But elusive mist will give you extra weapon damage. And if you're by yourself, it really stops people from CC chain spamming you. And when you're by yourself, that really helps out the gameplay. It helps your stam bar. It helps you kite. I would go Mist if you're by yourself, definitely. Okay, we got Molten Armaments. This is also a flex spot because you're going to get the Mountain's Blessing from Shattering Rocks. You're going to get Helping Hands from Shattering Rocks. Now, the reason why I like Molten Armaments over, let's say, Entropy, if you want to go with an extra dot, the consistency. I like having the Major Brutality buff up at all times as long as I'm using it. And just being able to get ready for fights instead of having to wait on all these buffs mid-fight because I'm using it for shattering rocks. I'd rather have it pre-fight and be ready. So this is a flex spot. If I was dueling, probably entropy. Out in open world, molten armaments all day. I go temporal guard, by the way, just for the minor protection. I try not to use the ultimate. I try to save it for corrosive, so it's just for their minor protection. All right, front bar, we've got Fat Whip. This is up to you. If you want to use Flame Lash, go ahead and use Flame Lash, but I like the whips that we've been getting. I've been getting up to 10 to 14k whips potentially, even on good players because of corrosive. Okay, so we got Engulfing Flames, Burning Embers, Shattering Rocks, and Flames of Oblivion. Now, the reason why I go Shattering Rocks over Fossilize is because we're not using Lash. Lash will give you a heal back. Shattering Rocks will give you a heal back. That Molten Whip does not. So if you're using Molten Whip, you want Shattering Rocks. If you're going Power Lash, you want Fossilize. All right, finally then, Corrosive. Okay, so let's finish this build video off with the champion points. Green Tree, it's really up to you. The two important ones, I think, is Gifted Rider and Steed's Blessing. War Mount's kind of important too. Liquid Efficiency, these are the ones I go with. Here are the non-negotiables. We've got Resilience, Ironclad, Deadly Aim, and Master at Arms. All right, Pain's Refuge, Survival Instincts, Juggernaut, and Fortified. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the build for the Ascending Tide patch. It is a very, very weird patch. And just to recap, we are maxing out on weapon damage because everything is hybridized and all abilities will scale now with your higher stats. So the higher of the two, Magicka and Stamina, because my Magicka is higher, it's going to scale with my Magicka. And of the higher two, weapon and spell damage, because my weapon damage is higher, it's going to scale with my weapon damage. So we are just getting very, very, very high weapon damage for high healing and high amounts of damage. And that's beautiful for a Mag DK because of dots. Dots hit so hard. We're rocking 2 swords. We don't need to rock any kind of penetration with this build because Corrosive is just so strong right now. Corrosive is all the penetration you'll ever need to kill somebody. Now, the only people that might give you some problems is a heal bot who is dedicated to taking on 20 people. That's about the only type of players that I've been having troubles with killing out here. And even then, sometimes I almost kill them. So I hope this build helps you guys. It's really crazy. Okay, if you give it a shot and if you set it up the way I have it set up, you'll love it. Good luck out there, and see you on the next one.